stuff, it's important to compromise because that's how we get work done in Washington, D.C. What people tend to forget is that we've elected officials to go to the Capitol, to go to our state capitol, to speak on our behalf. Not everybody's going to be happy with what they get, but in the long run, we get a bill passed, a law passed, that at least satisfies most of the needs. Sometimes not everybody's going to be happy with every part of the bill. That can't happen. That's human nature. That's the way it works. But what you do as a politician is you sit down with your opposition, you say, here's what I'm hoping to get. They say, here's what we're hoping to get. And somewhere in the middle, you come out with something that at least most people can live with. Today's capitalistic system is really not what one would consider true capitalism. No system is. Capitalism exists in the prime idea that the private citizen, the businessman, has funds that other people and other businessmen need. And they go to them and they say, can you help me? The money's loaned down the road, they get paid, and that's our perception. The reality is that capitalism, on the one hand, did help us develop, but please keep in mind, there was a lot of work done conjunction of both public, which is the government, and private, which is the capitalist system. That was the only way toll roads got built in the colonial period and in the first part of the 19th century. That's how the Erie Canal came into being. Our economic system is really an ideal of capitalism, but a joint, shall we say, contract between various groups to produce where we are today. Runaway capitalism, and what some people want to have happen, does not work and is destructive economically. Industrialization is critical if you understand how it's utilized. Unfortunately, this idea of returning back to old ideas of using coal, restarting steel mills that are not ecologically friendly and managed are a problem. Unfortunately, our workforce is faced with what used to be your grandparents' job, what used to be your parents' job, is no longer your job. The fact of the matter is, manufacturing is critical to reemploy a lot of people who may have lost their jobs in industrialization. Coal workers are one. They don't necessarily have to mine coal, but if they're retrained, they can then work in and manufacture. We just have to find those products that can be produced in those areas that fill that niche and get them to work. The national debt itself can be positive because when somebody borrows money from a bank and makes those payments back on a regular basis, the bank loans more money. So a country running a debt is a good thing, as long as you're making the payments and it's not to the point where it's hyperinflation like they had in Zimbabwe and other countries like that. National debt becomes a problem when a country does not find a way to pay it down, reduce it, work it to a level that is equitable for everyone. So a national debt, good in making payments, bad if you can't make payments and you can't borrow the money to help meet other needs. It's beneficial because as long as we make our payments, we're able to borrow money from other countries. By the same token, countries that borrow money from us, they too, in paying back, are a good creditor nation. I mean, literally, that's what you're looking at. Countries do not function, as much as they'd like to say, without international assistance. Argentina tried it in the 19th century. Germany tried it under Adolf Hitler. Self-sufficiency, for the most part, does not work because not every country can produce everything they need. So we may have to borrow money to assist people. We may have to borrow money to assist business. But if we can focus on those things that we produce well and barter for those things that we don't produce but other countries do, then we have a balance of trade and we can continue to borrow money as long as we're making our payments. So the national debt can be a positive thing.